Wow.
I am happy about that. Outside of that, actually, nothing too crazy going on. Very close to what we saw Todd playing a little bit earlier. There's also Freaky God of Affliction in the main deck. 4 Llanowar Waste for the Black Splash, along with Overrun Tomb and Temple of Malady. We'll see what does unfold as we work our way through the game here. There's also Thoughtseize in the sideboard and Golgari Charms. So Green Devotion's looking to become a little bit popular. Here's a Burning Tree Emissary off of those lands. We'll see if there's a follow-up play here for Wilson. And there is not. He does have a Nykthos in the grip.
Yeah, that is not a great hand against Esper control.
Fabiano with the Devour Flesh. So he wants to keep the board clear at all times.
Yep.
That's definitely important. Gerard playing Esper Control again. Did win 2 weeks ago when we were in Worcester, beat Reed Duke in the finals, propelled himself into our Season 3 race, sitting in 5th place right now on the Season 3 leaderboard. We'll take a look at his deck list in a bit to see if there's any new cards. I know there's a Liliana Vest hanging out. Not sure about the rest, however.
Yeah, he does have the new Jace, though, so that should be interesting if it comes into play.
All right.
I know that you're kind of a fan.
I don't think it's as bad as people think, basically. It's a hard card to judge, but I don't think it's as bad as people think. There's another Burning Tree Emissary there for Wilson.
Knowing Gerard, he just wanted to try it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, might as well. What's the worst that can
Hey,
happen?
you gotta find out if it's good or bad, right?
Yeah.
There's only one way to know. That's play some games. There's no Devour Flesh. Get that thing off the table. You gotta let Gerard's game plan right now. Keep the board clear. Make it so those Nykthos activations are very, very small. Now, using Devour Flesh quite a bit, makes it so Mistcutter Hydra could end up being pretty good. Wilson gonna play a Voyaging Satyr and just pass the turn back over to Fabiano, who draws, looks like a Thoughtseize. And there is a Thoughtseize. You're gonna see a hand of Pulachronos, along with a Mistcutter Hydra and a Garruk Caller of Beasts. But Avery Wilson is actually pretty far away from one of those cards. Mistcutter Hydra is just a baby at this point, so maybe it's a copy of Pulachronos, but looks like Fabiano's just gonna take the Garruk. Thinks he can just beat the creatures.
Yeah, I think if you're Gerard, you're probably just most afraid of Planeswalkers, so he probably has that he's probably telegraphing us a lot of removal in his hand anyway.
There's another copy of Llanowar Waste, brand new card.
Yeah, I have to imagine. Oh, wow, Pulachronos comes out.
Yeah. Can sweep these bad boys up with the Verdict.
Yep. Oh, yeah, so it looks like he does have the Verdict, too. So, yeah, Avery probably going to lose his board this turn, and then he can follow up with a Mistcutter Hydra, but it's not going to be very big.
Yeah, the question, of course, is if Fabiano have the answer to that. And Fabiano knows exactly what's on his hand because of the Thoughtseize. So
yeah, I'm surprised if he wouldn't have an answer, given he saw his hand. He could have taken it.
You see the other card now in Wilson's hand, I believe, is the Mighty Genesis Hydra. But that one's much better when you have a bunch of mana. And this is actually something you mentioned when we watched Todd play. It's just the Mistcutter Hydra. It's going to be for 3. Going to come in the red zone. Fabiano's going to go down to 15. But you mentioned this when we watched Todd play. Is this deck definitely got a lot of updates, but can it beat Revelation and Verdict decks? That's always been its weakness anyway. And here's an Archangel of Thune. That does a really nice job against Mistcutter Hydra. And maybe that's part of the reason. I mean, you have to imagine that's all part of the plan for Gerard and why he didn't take the Mistcutter Hydra, knowing that his Archangel could outpace it. Even if it's not big enough right away to block it, it can just gain life and undo everything.
Yep.
So.
And if you're Avery, I think you have to cast the second Mistcutter here.
Yeah.
Even though you can't attack, you still got to cast it, so Gerard's put in a tough situation as to whether or not he can attack next turn.
Going to go with just a small Genesis Hydra instead. It'll be for 2. Take a look at the top 2 cards here. A Nissa and a Quarter Calling. Those, no. You cannot cast those. There's Nissa World Waker. Fabiano wants to take a look. We'll do the same here very quickly. There's Genesis Hydra, of course. But Nissa World Waker, we saw be dominant in Todd's match. So good. But not showing up right now.
Yeah, and Avery's opening hand was pretty bad, so it was going to be tough for him no matter what. But Gerard, with the Archangel of Thune now, I mean, Archangel of Thune, it's really hard for Avery to kind of beat that card.
And Revelation, yeah.
Triggers Archangel.
Yeah, going to be a main phase Revelation right now. Something I actually see Gerard do a lot when he plays his deck, and it's a play that I like a lot. Get my cards right now. Sure, my shields are down. That's fine. My Archangel's going to get a little bit bigger. I can gain even more life. So yeah, let's keep it going.
Well, you figure there's very little, there's not many things that someone can do that's better than a Revelations for X, you know?
See if Fabiano has a land to play here. He does not. If you're Wilson, you're probably still scared.
Yeah, I mean, you can play Mistcutter Hydra here, attack for 8. But I think Fabiano still wins this race.
Yeah, here's the attack. It's going to be for 3, 4, and 5. It looks like Wilson picked up a copy of Pellegrino, so he can deploy that if he'd like to. But Fabiano certainly feels like he's in the driver's seat right now. You know, if he has a card like Supreme Verdict in his hand, he can get his damage, gain his life, clear the board again.
Yeah. And he has the Tension Sphere as well, so he can just go after the Pellegranos now if he wants to.
This is going to be another Rev, maybe. Oh, there's Elspeth. That card's good, too.
Pretty good.
Make some soldier tokens, take that up to 5.
And they all get +1/+1.
Yeah, they sure do. Oh, good, clean living right now.
So Fabiano's sitting pretty comfortably here. He's got an Archangel that is not Wilson can't answer currently, and an Elspeth in play, which most people can't answer. So Wilson can actually activate Nykthos for 5 here, make that Mistcutter Hydra 5/5, but again, just doesn't have enough to combat Gerard's board right here.
Yeah, and this is, it's just, I kind of keep harping on this, but this is exactly what you're talking about. And it's mostly because I know you've played green devotion decks for some time, is that these Revelation and Verdict decks, they're difficult because they come at you from like a lot of difficult angles. Elspeth is tough, Verdict is tough. You know, being quick enough against them and forcing them to have the right cards at the right time can be difficult. And, you know, Gerard has done a really nice job of just keeping Nykthos in check so things didn't spiral out of control very quickly.
Yeah. And my main question was, can Nissa be good enough to really push you over the edge? I think Nykthos and Court Calling, because the ability to put a creature into play at the end of an opponent's turn is huge, too. So are those 2 cards good enough to push you over the edge against blue-white devotion or blue-based devotion decks? And I mean control decks, and I'm just not sure they are.
Here comes an attack with a bunch of dummies. 5/5 Mistcutter, 3/3, 5/5 Pellegranos, Genesis Hydra. They're all going Elspeth, and Gerard says that's fine. I think you can just kill him with a counterattack, honestly. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, Fire Beautiful. Yeah, that's good enough to just kill him on the counter swing. That's going to do it. So Gerard Fabiano is going to win this match over Avery Wilson. 2 games to 0. Esper Control does get the job done. And for number 5 on our Season 3 leaderboard here, this is a big weekend for him.